I think this scene is hilarious. The main character agrees with me. The male lead is afraid to ride a sword, but he can ride a full-on dragon. Make that make sense. It is hilarious, but really, make that make sense. I love this. Even though the male lead doesn't actually want to listen to the opera, he doesn't want to listen to the play because the accent tricks that they're pulling, he can see right through them. He's like, oh, I can do this, but in actual real life, do it. Like, he is not enjoying it. Like, the white moonlight was with them and up left. Like, even purposely got something spilled on him so he could have excuse to leave and not watch the opera or play that was going on. The only reason why the male lead stuck around so the main character could see it. Because the main character, back when he was a child, repeatedly tried sneaking into operas and plays to be able to see one, but always got shushed away, so he never actually saw a full one. And after learning that, the male lead sat still so the main character could see a full one. I absolutely love it. And look how they're cuddling. They're fully cuddling. So this couple is way worse than the main couple from Grandmaster Demonic Convention when it comes to doing the do and making out in public places where they can easily get caught and someone can see them doing the do. And they're not doing the do yet, but they are literally making out. Full on making out everywhere to the point it's literally almost doing the do. And they don't care who hears them. Now, it does freak out the male lead, but at this point, they are literally not caring who could catch them. And they almost got caught. And you know who almost catches them? It's Heaven Starling, the main character's cousin. He comes across them. He overhears them first. And he's like, oh, who's doing this? Who's a disgusting pervert making out or doing the do where anyone could catch them out in public and not in their own, place. Like, he is furious. He's about to whip some disciples and kick some people out of his sack, only to come across his teacher and his cousin. He's like, what's going on? He gaslights himself. He doesn't think his teacher would ever do something like that, so he gaslights himself into thinking what he thought originally wasn't happening. Even berates himself. And then the main character and Melly jumps onto the gaslighting and gaslights him more, telling him they were after a spirit, trying to get rid of a spirit, but ended up losing that spirit. Like, the spirit got away. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, full on gaslights him. He gaslights himself and they gaslight him. And I felt so bad for him, but at least he didn't walk in on them. Like, I would have been horrified if he did, because my baby doesn't deserve that. My baby doesn't. Same with the main character's couple's child and Grandmaster Demonic Convention. Their son doesn't deserve to listen to them do the do all the time. He doesn't. That kid needs a break. They need to really stay away from their child or learn not to do the do when their child is around. Like, they really need to stop doing every day is every day, especially when their kid is around. Like, they need to learn their child deserves not to hear that shit. So the male lead every 7 years has to go into seclusion for 10 days because back when he was younger, when he was doing his path and convention, he made a mistake and injured himself. And so he has to go and into seclusion every 7 years for 10 days. And his disciples are the ones who are supposed to take care of him. Well, the last time he went into seclusion, the main character refused to take care of him. Well, he's back into going into seclusion for 10 days, and they each get a few days to take care of him and guard him. Each one. Like, they get their own days. They don't do it all together. They just do it every few days. Somebody else takes the place. Well, Heaven Starling is the first one who gets to go into seclusion with their teacher, and the main character is full-on jealous that he sneaks in there. He even threw a hissy fit to his uncle over it, and then snuck in and watched his cousin take care of their teacher, and is very much jealous, even though he knows there's nothing ever going to happen between them, and that his cousin will never ever have those attentions towards their teacher, and their teacher wouldn't have those attentions towards him. He's still full-on jealous. Can't control himself. Gets caught, and his cousin scorns him for it. But you know what? He never sneaks in when the White Moonlight is taking care of their teacher. Never sneaks in or checks on him. Never gets jealous of the White Moonlight being alone with the male lead. Make that make sense. Why is he only jealous of his cousin and not the White Moonlight being alone with his teacher? I'd be more afraid of the White Moonlight being alone with their teacher than his cousin. Come on. But he does sneak in a little earlier, like to take his turn. Like he sneaks in a little earlier. He's like, I will take my turn early. And he catches the white moonlight with something silver in his hand towards their teacher and freaks out, which causes them to argue. And later they have a conversation back and forth about it. And the white moonlight revealing a lot of grudges he has against the main character for things the main character, like ignoring him and not taking care of him and pampering like him like he originally did. And I'm like, because you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it, White Moonlight. You don't deserve any of the treatment he got him after everything you put the main character through. Like, no, you don't. Back off. Back the F off. Back off. When it was the main character's turn to take care of the Mellied, the Heaven Starling, his cousin, sneaks in to check on him because the Heaven Starling is starting to get suspicious about the relationship between the main character and Mellied. So he wanted to see if his fairy was correct, but later he gaslights himself. Yes, he gaslights himself again over the relationship between the Mellied and the main character. He's like, oh no, they don't have that relationship. My teacher would never have a relationship. Like, full on gaslights himself. He gets caught by the main character, and they end up drinking together. It's typically, they were originally drinking tea, but the main character decides behind his back to give him wine. He wanted to see how Heaven Starling would react, and this is how he acts. He acts all cutie, adorable, starts thanking the main character, apologizes to the main character, calls him brother, Kiki. Did I say it right? Kiki, right? Kiki, whatever. I'm not gonna say it right. But calls him by a name of Adoration. And the main character's horrified. He's upset. He's clinging to his little cousin, like he's holding his cousin. He's patting his cousin on the back. He realized how horrible he was to his cousin in his past life and how sweet his cousin has been to him, because back in the past, his cousin gave him chocolates, full-on chocolates. The first time he ever had chocolates was gifted by his cousin. A new thing of chocolates. A new thing of sweets. Like, his cousin was the one who gifted it to him. And he realized he's been just terrible to his cousin. He's been thinking of the worst of his cousin. And yes, you deserve to look like that because you have a sweet, adorable little thing like this and you treat him like shit. You treat him just as badly as you treat your teacher. You made his life in the past miserable and horrible. Look, he didn't deserve it. Look how adorable he is. He is absolutely adorable. And he doesn't deserve the things he went through in his past. My sweet baby. And like I said in the last clip, he is freaking pretty. I don't know why people are like, oh, the White Moonlight's probably the prettiest character in the series. How is he the prettiest character when this baby boy exists? When this best boy exists? Because he's absolutely gorgeous. Like, just looking at him makes me go feral because he's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Very, very beautiful.